Ile Tuesday ndio sasa isharudi mazee ndani ya the Gen Z Manifesto. We are back bigger and better. Kama kosa kalifanyika mahali kidogo, kuna mtu alikanyaga waya kidogo, lakini tumerudi. Majibu yakionekana kwa scene, unajua ni kubaya. Na leo is all about voter registration. Process ilianza, inaendelea, lakini mpaka sasa bado majenzi bana, kwani ngori iko wapi? Mlilia, mkalia, mkaenda maandamano, mnataka sijui change in governance, lakini hiyo change in governance inaanza na wewe kuregister as a voter. So itakuwa ni noma sana kama sisi tuko na ochisho na ujaregister as a voter. Ni mbaya. Nasikia sasa ni kuwekelea mawe na kuvunja mbavu. Tutajua ni gani. So leo tunauliza swali, Mbogi, mbona hamjaregister as voters? Shida ni nini? Ngori iko wapi? Shida ni gava hamjapata enough sensitization, ama ni hata hizo stations za mjui ziko wapi? So conversation ya majenzi haiwezi kamilika kama sina majenzi kwa scene. Niko na wao, siji kama mpiga picha wangu Brayo cheza kaa wewe. Waonyeshe tu wajue wenyewe leo kikosi imekamilika. Niko nao, watakuwa wananijibu. Kwanza wataniambia kama wao wenyewe washaregister as voters, na kama bado pia watakuwa wanatuambia mbona mpaka sasa bado hawajaregister as voters. Na pia kumbuka unatuwatch sasa on K24 and Kameme TV. You can interact with us through our social media platforms. You can comment, utuambie pia shida iko wapi, mbona watu wengi bado hawajajitokeza kuregister as voters. Na siko peke yangu, niko na mwenzangu on the other side of the studio, Charlotte.
Here on K24, we are starting with a question that goes out to the heart of our democracy. Why are so many eligible Kenyans, especially young people, not registering to vote as we prepare for the 2027 general election? Right now, the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission is running a nationwide voter registration drive. Their goal is to add at least 6.3 million new voters to the electoral roll before 2027. Yet as of late, 2025 in October, only 201,000 new voters have been registered, a tiny fraction of that target. Let's put that into perspective. The youth demographic ages 18 to 34 makes up a huge portion of Kenya's population. And during the 2022 general election, there are over 8 million young people aged 18 to 24 eligible to vote. The largest youth electorate in our history. Yet research suggests that far fewer of these young Kenyans actually registered and showed up at the polls, with some estimates indicating that youth may have accounted for less than 10% of all votes in 2022. So what's really going on? Is this about apathy, or is it about barriers? From lack of trust in political processes, confusion about registration registers, difficulty accessing national IDs, to long distance to registration centers. So what's actually keeping people away? Over the next few minutes, we are going to unpack the real reasons behind lower registration and ask what it means for your voice, your future, and that of the future of Kenya. My name is Charlotte Kibet, and welcome to the Gen Z Manifesto. I am joined by my colleague Majibu. Majibu, I'm going to throw it back to you. What is your audience saying about this particular topic?
Yes, Charlotte, thank you. On this other side of the studio pia niko na majama wangu mazee. Nilikuwa napitia comments. Kwa hiyo swali tumeuliza, mbona Mbogi bado hamjaregister as voters? Acha nipitie tu comments 2-3 hapa hivi. Kuna on Facebook kuna Stefano Sparks. Huyu ni Mrussia nini? Anasema hawa majamani nikaa hawataki kufika rural. Like anasema ni kama hiyo registration iko kwa urban centers, hawajafika rural areas. Ala. Haya. Kuna mwingine hapa Samuel Muigai anasema registration inafanyika more than 40 kilometers from where I live. IEBC hapo ni kama mnatupanga nyinyi. Haya. Kuna mwingine hapa Muruka Jack anasema register as a voter na wote tunajua Kasonga kwa hapo permanent. Wewe Jack wewe. Sasa hawa ndo wanatufanya tunarudi nyuma, una discourage wengine ku register as voters. But pia tutajua kama kweli ku register as a voter ina determine at the end of the day pale kwa ballot na the final results pale kwa ballot come 2027. So nisiongee mingi, niko na Mbogi yangu hapa hivi. Kiongozi, nianze na wewe, uniambie jina lako nani, alafu pia uniambie kwanza umeregister as a voter.
Thank you very much. Kwa majina naitwa Omondiolo. Mimi ni pale youth leader Embakasi West.
Youth leader?
Yes.
Najua youth leader mmoja mimi.
Unasema Uburu ama nani? Sawa. So I'm a registered voter. Ukienda pale Kifaru utapata Umondi ako registered voter. So I'm a registered voter and I'm ready to participate in any democratic process. Yes.
Mbona unafikiria watu wengi hawataki kuregister as voters, kwanza ma youth sai majenzi?
I think it is as a result of unapata watu wame lose hope na serikali na kuparticipate in democratic process, because unapata for a very long time people have participated in elections expecting results, lakini baadaye after uongozi umekaa pale unapata watu waoni kitu. So people have already given up. Even if they register, they participate in democratic process elections, they don't see any value coming at the end of the day. So in my view, I think it's as a result of people losing hope in the governance that we have currently.
Mna lose hope, kwani hiyo moto ilienda wapi? Si mliandamana bro?
Watu waliandamana, lakini pia wajua after kuandamana there's always results. There's always expectation wakati wa maandamano. So it's not always a child's play, especially with politics. So you can go to the streets having some expectations, but at the end of the day, you don't get that expectation. So when you get to the streets, you expect something to happen. But at the end of the day, if it doesn't happen, una lose hope.
Aya, anasema wengi wame lose hope. Acha nibonge na boys hapa kando pia. Bazu, pia wanakuitana alafu niambie pia kwanza umeregister kama mpiga kura?
Mimi naitwa Edward Oluoch kutoka Ukwala, current aspirant wa MCA hapo Ukwala ward. Nimeregister as a voter huko hivyo Ushago, nishai vote once na bado nitavote and I'm happy to participate hiyo kwa hiyo democratic right yangu. Okay, the reason why, the first question when uliuliza jamaa, the reason why the youths are not registered, the cycle in the wazee, unaona wazee wenye wako hapo juu, they are delaying the system. Actually, the current opposition, it's not working at all. They are not working. If you see Kalonzo, Gashagwa, Martha Karua, they are all relying on the benefits, especially getting those MPs. And like, okay, if you go this way to Sifuna team, that team, if they don't form a party, they won't go anywhere. As early as now, they won't.
Ushafika kwa Sifuna. Yeah. Tutafika huko pia. Kiongozi, umeregister as a voter?
Ndio, nimeregister. Yes.
Hiyo siku ulienda kuregister, ulikuwa Sole ama mlikuwa Mbogi?
Tulikuwa Mbogi.
Na mbona unafikiria watu wengi hawataki kuregister as voters? Mbona kuna low turnout registration mpaka saa hii?
Unajua kutoregister ni part ya gava. Unapata gava imefanya vijana wasikuwe na employment. In a sense that ukijana na hiyo siku naenda kuregister kwa voter na waste time yangu ningekuwa natengeza do because hawana do.
Sasa nikuulize bro, tuongee tu kweli. Mlikuwa na time kutoka kwenda kuandamana. Sasa natoka Githurai mpaka Juja anafika CBD kuandamana. Hiyo time hakukuwa mboka na alikuwa anakula bado. Lakini sasa yeye kwenda kuchukua 10 minutes process inakuwa ni shida bro.
Hiyo siku ilikuwa kama ni holiday Kenya mzima. Yeah.
Aya. Acha nivukie side nyingine. Leo nitakusumbua brayo. Acha niongee na bibi Gala hapa. Precious. Ni aje?
Poa.
Umeregister as a voter?
Yeah, I've registered as a voter.
Kuna mwenye nimesoma comment yake hapa anasema gava haijafika kwa rural areas kwa establish hizo registration centers. Do you think it's a reason as to why wasi wengi hawajaregister as voters sana mayouth?
Yeah, I think it's the reason behind everything. First of all, sahi kwa our IEBC, hizo positions wamejieka za place za watu kwenda kuregister. Kama pa CBD wewe unajua iko wapi? Wewe personally unajua pale CBD watu wanaregister before tuulize sisi kama tumeshukua register?
Ni mbaya.
Haujui. Cause in Starehe constituencies wameiweka railways block D. So imagine hata wajeka kwa huduma center yao. So wanatakaje watu wa vote. And then the issue is the last record ilitolewa October 2025. And that time tulikuwa na 90,000 people wale the new registers. Kwa nini hawataki kutoa the recent one? Because wanataka kutupatia bombshell that people are not taking the voters ndo tukai tutulie. This is the thing wanataka kutuza nayo uoga. But the issue, another thing is like the IEBC chairperson akosaidia nani? Hata tukichukua voters cards zote, tuchukue kila kitu. Yeye anasikiza nani? The previous government, that is President Ruto. So kwa nini to take all our time? We'll take votes for everything. But hii solution ya hii gava, first of all, tuko na former registration votes za 2022 walikuwa 22 million. Mbona kila saa penye kila saa mnatuambia nyi Gen Z hamchukui? Kwa 22 million watu 10 million ndo walivote. Kwa nini tusiconvince the other 10 million waende waongeze hizi votes? Mbona mnatuambia kila saa Gen Z sijui ati nyinyi ndo tunakuaga na solution, na tukienda maandamano tulikuwa tumeenda maandamano ya finance bill.
Acha niulize. Juu umesema kuna shida kadhaa hapo. Sasa current statistics za IEBC zinasema wasi wenye wamejitokeza kuregister wengi ni millennials. 31 to 35 years of age ni 14.5%. Majenzi wenye wako hapo kwa 26 hapo ni 12%. Hizo ni current statistics. Mbona wengine, mbona wazae wajitokeze kwenda kuregister na vijana wadogo wakose kuregister? Like hiyo kuna excuse kweli hapo?
First of all, hata kuna youths wale ilikuwa na problem ya kuget ID zao. You cannot take a voters kama bila ID. And as like it has become a block that mkipatia hawa vijana chance ya kuteki votes nini, tukuna vitu mob zita change. But for sure with or without voters register, this regime from the opposition side to the government side, kuna Oburu side, we have a lot is happening in political clashes at the moment. So let them fight. Time is not yet. Kwa hata kuna kuwaga na mass registration, ile inafaa kukua kila mahali pali watu wanakuwa. So msitupatie pressure ati sijui majenzini. Na hata hatuna job, mnatupatia pressure ya kuchukua tu kura moja, ile tunachukua date moja ni 22. So wapatieni job, wapatieni opportunities. Sasa kuna kuwaga na opportunities mob za gava, mbona muwapatii? Lakini mna kila sati everybody is asking, Gen Z mbona mlitokea maandamano na sasa hamchukui voters? Tulitokea maandamano to fight something. Hatutokea maandamano kufight mambo ya voters registered. Acheni kutuburden akili zetu.
Gen Z tu. Yaani hamtaki pressure. Bazu ruka hapo kiasi niingia hapa hivi ni bonge na anajiita Steve waziri mwenyewe. Utaniambia ni waziri wa nini ndugu yangu? Kwanza umeregister as a voter?
Yeah, kwa majina mimi naitwa Ambassador. Sasa hivi naitwa Ambassador Steve Giro.
Ambassador wa wapi?
Peace Ambassador ndugu yangu. Yeah, so mimi naweza sema kwamba mavijana hawataki kujitokezea kushika kura juu ya one. Wame lose trust na hii government yenye iko. And ningependa sana kuambia wajitokezee mazee washike kura juu from Monday to Friday wanakoga wamefungwa hizo places zenye wase wanashika kura. Yeah, mimi nimeshika kura na nilipiga kura mara yangu ya kwanza kupiga kura ilikuwa 2022. And hii 2027 itakuwa mara yangu ya pili. Yeah.
Very nice. Wacha nikujie side nyingine pia, anaitwa Alam mwenyewe. Kiongozi inakwaje?
Poa.
Kumekuwa na talk mtaani wanasema that gava inajaribu kusabotage process in the sense that kama process kama ya kuchukua passport inaweza kuwa online kwa e-citizen, mbona process crucial kama ya voter registration isifanyike online, considering the fact that majenzi wengi wako kwa mtandao? Do you think that gava ina sabotage process?
No, I don't think so. I don't think there is a deliberate sabotage, but what I think is that even if you put it online, the young people will still not register with simple reasons. The IEBC we are having right now is a low trust entity. The young people who are here have seen how this this IEBC commission has conducted elections before. We have had elections in 2013, we have had elections in 2017, 2022, and now we are heading 2027. What makes this one different? What can the IEBC promise the young people that this one is going to be different? The IEBC itself has not come out clear to even apologize to Kenyans for losing their life after every election. This is a responsibility within the IEBC, and the young people are seeing that we are not going to get any justice within that process. And that is why there is low trust in the process of registering, because the young people still believe there is another way, and election alone cannot be the only way. That should be taken very clear, that election alone cannot be the only way, and that is what the young people still believe in, and that is what they are trying to demonstrate by not turning out to register. Yes.
So sahi basi nini ifanyike? Because mna complain mingi sana. Yes. Nini ifanyike to ensure that at least by the time tuna approach 2027, yes, IEBC itakuwa imereach target yenye sasa inajaribu kuachieve?
First things first, IEBC should come out clear, and we have seen that they are not ready to come out clear to even talk about some of the challenges they have faced previously. Remember, we have IEBC as a commission is one of the highly funded entity in Kenya right now, and yet they cannot deliver a credible election. One, the IEBC, the current commissioners we are having right now, they had their first test during the by-elections. During those by-elections, Ethekon, I don't know that is the name of the guy.
Erastus Ethekon.
Skiza hata majina. The majina ya hawa commissioner ni kama tu ni scheme. It is not even inspiring. Like the other day it was Chebukati. Siji sahi ni Ethekon. The young people are not even inspired by the names of those commissioners. Ooh, so how do you expect? No, seriously.
Sasa ukishtuka na Erastus na majibu kitsao.
I don't know. Majibu kitsao. So you being a commissioner, but with that one aside, the Erastus Ethekon came out and said that it is completely impossible to rig elections in Kenya. A young person who wanted to go and register as a voter would ask themselves that what so an electoral malpractice, because kwa hizo by election tuliona state intimidation, tuliona goons wanatumika, tuliona goons kutumika to an extent ya kwamba watu hawezi wakajitokeza kuenda kupiga kura. So inamaanisha this IEBC is still going to be an accomplice in the coming election. So why would we as young people join in a coronation ceremony like the ones we have seen in Tanzania and Uganda? So that is the big question, that the IEBC is not coming out clear and promising the young people that we are going to have a credible election. And being that they are not coming out to do that, the young people still think that there is another alternative. And the alternative is to organize and take political power by kicking out William Ruto and his corrupt regime.
We are live on K24 TV and Kameme. Na before nipate kiongozi nafasi hapo, asubuhi nilipost that we are having this conversation tonight kuhusu voter registration. Now one of my good friends ali reply kwa status. Naomba nisome comment yake. Alisema najua hatutapatana uwanjani, but I have some different reasons why I am yet to get a voter's card. I carry PTSD from 2007-2008 post-election violence. Every time I think of registering as a voter, I remember the butchering and think, what if my vote causes this again? I tried to register in October, lakini nilisikia uzito moyoni, nikashindwa kabisa. Utasemaje?
It is evident, even huyo rafiki yako anakuambia, we don't trust that commission, we don't trust IEBC. IEBC after every election Wakenya wanaulewa. Hawajai hata kuja kusema jameni, pole kwa Wakenya, munakufa after every election. This is a mistake ya hiyo IEBC.
Kiasi tu na juni demo text, acha nipatie mwenzake hapa respond. Anasema huyu anakari PTSD from 2007-2008 post election violence. Anasema what if hiyo kura yangu ndio itakozi hizo chaos tena, utasemaje? Briefly too.
But I do believe that with her vote, not without her vote, hii ni kitaumana, si jokes. Unajua, as like we are talking as if tunaongea kama as like mnatuchukua kama as like we're just talking. That is the problem with the millennium, the boomers. I'm a millennium. The boomers, the X generation around here. But despite anything, 2026 and 2027 will be the same year as 1963 of this country.
Shakwa prophet. Ni mbaya, mnaekelea moyo mkivunja mbavu. Kiongozi, briefly tu jina alafu niambie kama umeregister za voter na mbona sasa hivi vijana wengi hawataki kujitokeza.
Okay. Venye nilijiintroduce hapo hivyo ya kwanza, hapa ni Edward. So the reason why is tena comrade wataki kuregister kama voter. Unafaa kujiuliza hii swali. Will the election be Yes? Are you there? Okay. What I'm talking about, the first question yenye unafaa ku-ask, will the election be determined by votes? Will the election be determined by votes? Sidhani. Ukiangalia hiyo kitu, majenzi wataregister. Sahi watafanya mass registration. Lakini kutoa jenzi mmoja aende apige kura itakuwa very hard.
Na mbona nafaa kwenda break kiasi, but kumbuka we are live on K24 TV and Kameme. Show ni kubwa, the Gen Z Manifesto. Interact with us kwa WhatsApp, Facebook, X, Instagram, mpaka TikTok. Tuma feedback, tutazisoma ndani ya show kubwa. Sasa mpaka State House wameweka TV kubwa hapo. Karen nyumba zote sasa huko wapi? Vihiga huko Shamahoho Mwitoti. Ni Gen Z Manifesto. K24 TV and Kameme. Tunaenda break. Tukirudi, Charlotte Kibet akona kikosi yake pale Studio A. Leo ni mbaya. Ni mbaya.
Kama invite yangu haikufika on time, but I'm glad to be here anyway.
She was my rival, my competitor. We need to shut this business down.
Hii biashara ndo kila kitu kwenye hii familia. Nikufe ama nisikufe.
Kama mbaya. We ni mnoma sana.
One truth can break everything.
Sit tight.
True understanding requires more than a headline. The People Daily app delivers our trusted in-depth journalism directly to you. Get comprehensive reporting, insightful political analyses and special features optimized for your life on the go. Get the stories that deserve your attention wherever you are. The People Daily app. News that moves with you.
Mafanikio hayaji kwa bahati. Ni matokeo ya bidii, uvumilivu, kujifunza, kusoma, kujituma na zaidi ya yote, kukipenda unachokifanya.
Kupata mafanikio kama skiza tune yako, dial *811 *614#.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Karibu kwa
kwa vibe genje za Kenya. Hizi ni zetu.
Beba kwa zile shaglasi uchapa ndio fomi jipe na watu wamoke
Pia usisahau
kuna ile uaga ni zufala umbwakni yenye inabamba raia. Toka TikTok ama uende jehanamu samaki ya matope.
Hapa ndio home za madogo ambazo zina donjo, yani sherehe ni sheria na sherehe ni lazima.
Naambiaje?
Ndio ile place wa Kenya hutambulika ni wa Kenya.
Tunasemaje?
Karibu milele
100% Kenya.
Zetu baba.
Buda iko loud 100% Kenyan. Tunawakilisha milele.
Nimukumenyithio gikuo kia Francis Shegegioshe wa Mioro Kagogo Sublocation Jobe mathio ya Murang'a County. Ni mwana wa atigaire Benson Gioshe Muga na Sabina wa Boy Gioshe. Ni muthuri wa Priscilla wa Irimu Shege. Ni ithe wa Sara Muthoni wa Tekra Kiriaine, Pastor Peter Gashero, Jane wa Boy Kaguri, Miri wa Ruguru, Rusi wa Maitha, Hana wa Jiko, Bernard Gioshe na Timothy Muraya wa Grogon, Kirinyaga Road. Aciaranĩirwo na Juliana Wanjiru, Jane Nyangoto, Juliana wa Ruguru, Wanjiru Ng'ando, Nyabratho Ngori, Charles Waweru, Ebai Kamau, Esther Nyambura, atigaire Timothy Muraya, wa Ruguru Njuki, Aroisio Gacanja, John Kigo, Charles Mwangi, Zakaria Muraya, John Kamau, Francis Maina, Priscilla wa Ruguru na Wangeci. Ararĩ guka wa tũguka na tũcukuru tũingĩ. Arata na andũ a nyũmba maracemania Homeland Thika Road kuma thaa 11 na gwake mũciĩ Mioro o mũthenya nĩ ũndũ wa mahoya na kuhariria mathiko. Mwĩrĩ ũkarutwo Kĩrĩa-inĩ Mission Hospital Mochari Jumamothi mweri 21 thaa 2 cia rũcinĩ. Igongona rĩa mitha na mathiko rĩgakorwo kanitha-inĩ wa Mioro Catholic Church kwambĩrĩria thaa 4 cia rũcinĩ thutha ahurũkio gwake mũciĩ Mioro. Kũguũrĩrio 14 kamũhari ga 13. Ngĩcoka ngĩigua mũgambo wa ima igũrũ ũkiuga atĩrĩ, andĩka atĩrĩ, kũrathimwo rĩ nĩ andũ arĩa akuũ arĩa makuĩte marĩ thĩinĩ wa Mwathani kuma rĩu. Nake Roho ekuga atĩrĩ, nĩguo makĩhurũke mawĩra mao maritũ nĩgũkorwo ciĩko ciao iria maneka nĩ ikamoima thutha. Thiaga thayũ Francis Shegegioshe. Nĩtũrakwendete no Mwathani arakwenda mũno makĩria.
Ni mukumenyithio gikuo kia Margaret wali arang'ang'a. Ni mwana wa mutigaire Francis Karu na Hana Njoki Makena. Ni mutumia wa Ng'ang'a Kafuru. Ni nyina wa Sister Nancy Wajiko, Duta, Kafura, Karu, Bogwa, Nyokafi, Dennis, Makena, Matheri, Wamunyo na Aris. Aciaranĩirwo na atigaire Wajiko, Jerry, Bogwa, Jago, Makena, Nyakaro, wa Ruth na Nugari. Ararĩ cũcũ wa tũcũcũ na tũcũkũrũ tũingĩ. Arata na andũ a nyũmba maracemania gwake mũciĩ Gĩtiri, Kija, Kĩnangofu nĩ ũndũ wa mahoya na kũharĩria mathiko. Mwĩrĩ ũkarutwo kwa Ng'othi Hospital Mochari wa gatano mweri 20 mweri ũyũ tũrĩ thaa 2 cia rũcinĩ. Thutha mahoya na mathiko marũmĩrĩre gwake mũciĩ Gĩtiri, Kija, Kĩnangofu, Nyandarua County. Timotheo wa kerĩ 4 kamũhari ka 7 nĩ ndũĩte bara ĩrĩa njega narĩo ihenya rĩakwa rĩgakinya mũthia ona nĩ ndũrĩtie menyereire wĩtĩkio wakwa. Thiaga thayũ Margaret wari arang'ang'a. Nĩtũrakwendete no Mwathani arakwenda mũno makĩria.
Welcome back to the Gen Z Manifesto. What a night it has been. Bado tumeanza tu. So now we have just discussed on IEBC, and we have seen the young people have said they do not have any trust in IEBC. So my quick question would be, if not IEBC as the Electoral Boundary Commission for voting in this Kenya, an electoral committee in this country, what else do we have? What is a solution? Now, I am joined with Joyce, the Partnership Officer of IEBC, who will be answering one question that we ought here in the audience and even in my panelists here to ask this particular question. And Joyce, I don't know if you can hear me. Joyce?
I can hear you, Charlotte. How are you?
Karibu sana,
Thank you for having me.
Joyce. We are so grateful to have you, and even the young people are so eager to understand one particular question that has been thrown on our social media platforms. And I'm sure you have seen the part where tumeingia kwa studio na majibu hapo pale watu wamesema they do not trust IEBC. So my question to you is, what are some of the few guidelines or things that IEBC has set aside to say, hey, Gen Z, here is the easier option of registering to be a voter? And how can young people actually trust IEBC when we have seen there is big and greater voter apathy in this country? Joyce?
Yes, thank you very much, Charlotte.
Yes.
As far as trusting IEBC, I can say we are the body that is mandated to have elections, to conduct elections in this country. And as our chairman has said over and over and over again, it is really, really difficult. It's almost impossible to rig elections in this country. Yes, it is very legislated. Everything we do is according to the law, and that is a promise I can give the Kenyan youth. To trust, kila kitu tunafanya is according to the law, and we'll deliver credible elections according to how you vote.
Thank you, Joyce, for that answer. And have you heard Joyce amesema to a trust, you know? And I think most young people are asking the questions of, we have seen previously how sometimes IEBC has either not been trusted by the people of this country, and we have seen the reflections of Kenyans. I want to ask Joyce, if you're still with me, to ask one particular question. What are some of the guidelines or things IEBC has set aside to actually say, Gen Z, we are welcoming you? Because as you've heard from Studio B as well, wamesema watu hawajui pale these places are to register as voters. And a quick question from our university people, wanauliza, if these things can go to university themselves or register from there, you go to the young people. Is that possible?
Yes, that is very possible. One of the things we are doing right now, we are working on we are planning to do an enhanced exercise. We should do it somewhere in March, April. We are planning to do an enhanced exercise where now we actually go to the people. During the enhanced exercise, we'll also be going to the universities and tertiary institutions to register people on site. We have had instances where youth have invited us to their events and, you know, to their functions, and we have actually gone and spoken to them and also registered them as voters. That's some of the things we are doing. We are also working on an app to allow people to register online, so you can just register and then come in, book an appointment to come in to have your fingerprints, the way we do with the passport and the way we do with the ID. So we are working. We are working for the youth. We are doing things to, you know, we are expecting the youth to come. We understand that right now, we understand that it might be a little difficult to access our offices right now.
Yeah.
But right now, as we are doing it in the office, it's equal for full time. I mean, Monday to Friday, 8 to 5. And kama kotao pia you can pass by our offices at Anniversary Towers. We have registration going on there. But we do have plans to go to the people, and we have been going to the people, albeit in a smaller scale. But we are planning to scale it up kabisa tuende kila mtu mali watakuwa.
Yeah. Thank you, Joyce. Yeah, thank you for that. I think that's important to bring the votes to the people, because, you know, Abraham Lincoln said that democracy is for the people, to the people, and by the people. So it's important that these people actually ensure and feel connected to the electoral body representing them as a country. Joyce, I just want to finish off with this so that we can let you go and have a more diverse conversation as you continue on. Mimi, I follow you guys on our social media platforms. And do you think there's enough civic education of what IEBC does to the younger generation? Because they use this thing for almost everything. Is IEBC relating to the language of young people to register as voters? Because I think sometimes you can see on the IEBC page, it's a bit vague, you know, it's not attractive. So my question to you is there enough civic education for voter registration for young people in this country?
Voter education is a continuous process. We do it on in very many different ways. Right now, we are doing it mainly on our social media. That's where we are posting our information. All our social media platforms, you can follow us at IEBC Kenya on X, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and even on WhatsApp. So for now, we are doing it like that. But also, as we plan to get out to do the enhanced exercise, we'll also be scaling up voter education. We'll do it in very many different platforms. You know, we also do stakeholder engagements where we meet with different stakeholders in the electoral space and talk to them about, you know, and do voter education. And we are also working with different organizations who are called accredited voter education providers. So we use their networks to go out and do voter education. So voter education is a continuous process, and we do it in very many different ways. And we working. We also work with a lot of youth organizations to do this voter education as well.
Thank you. Thank you, Joyce, so much for your feedback. And that was Joyce Akello, the Partnerships Officer for IEBC. Asante sana. And yes, please make your pages a little bit more enticing for young people to come and register to vote. Now, before again we dive in, I'm going to jump this to my colleague Majibu, back to the audience. Apate feedback here, so then we get back to my amazing panelists who are eagerly waiting. Majibu, what is the feedback that we are getting?
Charlotte, kwanza umeambia afisa that page ya IEBC iko vague sana, hakuna kitu. Kama una watch, nipate hiyo kazi na umanijie page ma challenge mingi za TikTok hapo. Muone majinzo wakiregister wengi mbaya sana. Feedbacks, acha nianze na Facebook. Ni nyingi sana. Na pia mnaweza endelea kutuma, namba inapita chini ya screen hapo, tusikie mnasemaje. Kuna Godi anasema tuko busy kutafuta ya kukula. Godi. Haya. Haya, niwekee basi weka. Muona hizi zangu haziwezi. Sawa. Kuna Kenta Lekishon anasema on my view deep delusionment low and apathy. Many Kenyans, especially the youth, Gen Zs and millennials, feel that voting is an empty ritual that does not lead to meaningful change. Past cycles and unfulfilled campaign promises and a perceived recycling of the same political leaders have fueled shapita hiyo. Aya, anonymous hataki kujulikana hiyo. Anasema kusema ukweli, the reason most of us don't register, these people already know who they want. Okay, wanaifanya juu ni our constitutional right, but at the end of the day, they will choose who they have. Alafu tukienda debe tuwape kura, wakiingia hapo kwa power wanatugeuka. Okay, Victor from Kakamega anasema kutrust IEBC is like trusting Mbrashian guy. Aya, anafaa ongeze Mbrashia wa Roysambu. Salasia wa Olayo, because the forest was shrinking, but the trees kept voting for the axe because its handle was wooden and they thought it was one of them. Aya. Lami Majanga anasema poor infrastructure, inadequate finance, attack from hostile affordable bloggers. Okay. Mwingine nani? Anaitwa Boniface Njuguna anasema no need 3-term reloading. Hata si 2-term tena. Haya, kuna Bora Chizangi Lugwe. Huko kwetu Shakahola huyo. Anasema we already know who is the winner. Okay. Lynette Soni anasema for the love of our country to do registration. Aya. Tuende kwa Steve Nyadimo anasema will it change the status quo or anything? Ameuliza swali pale. Kuna Odhiambo Vin Makrotasho anasema Gen Zs should register as voters. Haya, mmesikia feedbacks hapo. Kuna zenye ningesoma hapa lakini director ameona nisome hizi. Tukirudi nitazipitia pia. Mbogi yangu ya Facebook sijawacha nyuma. Narudishia Charlotte na panel pale, lakini pia baadaye niko na mbogi yangu hapa. Wengi sana. Nitakuwa na kanao wasikie wako na yepi ya kusema. Charlotte, back to you.
Yes, I think thank you for all the feedback that you're getting, and I think we need more honest ones ya ukweli kabisa. But I'm jumping here to my panelists, and we have Evans Onyango, who has been at the front lines of demanding accountability for this country, and is also an aspirant for Member of Parliament Kasarani, right? Hiyo ni position ya Karauri, right?
Yes.
Tumewakuona. And now we have again Alam Acheng, who is the national coordinator for RGM. Now, I want us to jump really quick. Tumesikia all the comments. We have had every single thing that people have said. And one thing has struck out is that people do not trust IEBC, right? So I'm going to ask you, Evans, if people don't trust IEBC, then what electoral body do we have as Kenyans? And you now vying as a member of parliament, utatumia gani, utaenda tu hivyo? What is the solution? Do we trust IEBC? Is there any other form of solution that we need to have?
Okay. Thank you very much. I think the first thing that we need to realize is that Kenya is a country that respects the Constitution. And IEBC is the only body that currently is mandated to conduct elections in this country. And I believe that as Kenyans, we need to bestow back that kind of respect or that kind of trust back to IEBC. And the only way to do it is, first of all, to realize that the only way that IEBC is able to do its work effectively, first of all, is when we, the people, actually turn out to vote. So the reason why young people are not coming out to vote, we have seen, is that they do not see the results of elections, turning out in their favor. The people who do, they do not trust actually coming out.
They've said we don't,
they do not, they're not the leaders they want. And people come every day to campaign on podiums and stuff like that. But when elections come, the people who actually do not deliver the ones that get elected. So this is my rallying point to the people of Kenya. The only way that IEBC is going to work is when we turn out in numbers, then vote in the people whom we want to be in office, and not allow people who are not supposed to be in office to be voted by people who are actually turning out to. I think that's where the laxity is. Right now we have got a base of 8 million plus people who did not vote in the last elections, right? So what if we get this number plus the others who have completed high school, let us bring them on board in 2027, and then they vote. That 8 million plus, if they vote as a block, we can actually make a change. And I think it's going to be the very first time in history that we're going to see that IEBC is actually doing its work. So in my opinion, IEBC is the way, but then we must also turn out and put ourselves in the picture.
Yes, thank you so much. Umesema IEBC is the way, we only have this electoral body and we have to turn out. So there are two things that have to depend on each other to get a great outcome. Alam, I'm going to ask you this question. Juu umesema, we do not trust IEBC. Waenda huko, umesema hivyo, ukikuwa na majibu. Let me ask, what do you think that is a solution? What should young people who are trying to vie, what body should they use?
Not what body they should use, just like as my brothers clearly stated that and the sister who was on the phone from IEBC, they are the ones who are currently mandated. So if we are to go to the election route, then they are the ones we are turning to. But just after she has spoken, every young person right now has more worry than trust.
Why do you think so?
Because a body like IEBC, which is highly funded, what was her position again?
Partnerships officer.
Yeah, that one. She comes out and tells us that they are trying. You are highly funded by the Kenyan people, and when they want an audit, you are telling them, we are really trying. Instead, you tell them, we are doing this and this and this and this and this. You are saying, we are trying. You see the language, and they're saying it is impossible to rig elections in Kenya. That is the language that scares the young people. When you say it is impossible to rig elections, the chairman came out and said, in fact, this chairman is doing nothing to let the young people know him. Even Coca-Cola, which does not have a visible competitor, is still doing marketing. We have an IEBC commissioner which is barely 6 months in office. All of them are sleeping in that office.
Yeah.
We don't even, my so at Oshago still don't know who the chair of the commission is.
But let me ask, do people need to know who the IEBC chair is, or do they
Exactly.
know that
How can I trust you if I don't know the person behind the wall? The person behind the wall should come on front, and so that we know. Now I know it is Charlotte who is interviewing me. When I'm coming from here, anything happening to me, I know Charlotte. I was with Charlotte, the last person. So I can be able to hold Charlotte at account. But here we are dealing with someone who we cannot see. He is nowhere. He is where he's in the office. And the only thing he's doing in office is press conferences, telling people how it is impossible to steal election. And yet, instead of coming out to condemn the state use of public resources in campaigns in Mbere, is that not a one way of rigging election? That one is an electoral malpractice. When people are coming out to bribe voters, when people are coming out with goons to scare my older women to go and exercise their constitutional right of voting, and an IEBC chairman, instead of coming out to condemn all that, is coming out to say, oh, our system is so good, it is impossible to rig election. The only way for this country, and the only way that the young people trust, is the way of kicking out this corrupt government, not through election. There can never be the word Mapenduzi. You cannot realize Mapenduzi in a ballot. Yes. When you say ballot revolution, there is no ballot revolution. The revolution is only on the street. And the young people are we still have time. We are going to kick out this regime on the street. If you go the election way, we are going to enter into a coronation ceremony like the one you saw in Tanzania, where somebody say, oh, over 33 million people voted, 98%. That is the same treatment we are going to get here.
Alam, we're going to get back to you about this particular issue. Now, umesema the only way to actually remove a system is through the streets. But I believe there's some people here who actually believe they can use IEBC to remove the corrupt system. So I'm going to go back to Majibu with our amazing audience to get their feedback. Do we trust IEBC? What is the solution if not IEBC? Majibu.
Ndo hapo Charlotte. Alam. Unasema maandamano pekee ndio itatoi gava kwa serikali. Ni mbaya. Acha nikujie side nyingine sasa, nianze na baby girl hapo utajiintroduce, alafu kwanza before tuendelee utuambie kama umeregister as a voter.
Thank you so much. So my name is Jane Jerry, but I go by the name Gasheni Negaito. I come from the biggest county, Muranga County, Getugi Ward. I'm an MCA aspirant in Getugi Ward. Also, I'm serving as the National DCP Student Coordinator, and I am a registered voter. Perfect. And before I get to answer your question, I actually want to say something. We cannot sit here and ask the question, Mbona Mbogi Haijaregister, yet there are key issues that we are supposed to address first, that if not confronted, then this question will always remain. One thing that I want the people of this nation to understand is that there is a disconnect. There's a disconnect between the young people and the leadership, the young people and the system like IEBC. And before you ask us questions, before you judge us, get our perspective. We are a wounded generation. Secondly, on the issue of IEBC, many young people, especially those in the united opposition like myself, we got a chance to participate in the by-elections. I was an agent in Mbere North, and I can tell you for a fact, we were being tear-gassed inside a polling station. And while this chaos was happening, ballot stuffing was being done. And also, a CS was moving from one station to another one with askaris. And that is how Gitibori polling station was taken over. So we are not convinced, and we are not confident that IEBC is able to deliver a credible and fair election.
Know that IEBC, you don't have enough confidence in IEBC to conduct free and fair elections.
Yes.
Do you still hold alarm sentiments that the only way to have this government out of office is through mandamano?
That is where I was heading to. Sasa, when it comes to IEBC, what I expected even from that lady, Uyowa IEBC, was her to say that we are going to come out to the young people and explain what were the loopholes during the by-election, because they only had one task, to show us and restore the trust that has been lost long time ago between the young people and the IEBC. So they are supposed to, she was supposed to come out and tell us, we are going to come out and explain to the young people what were the loopholes during the by-elections and what measures have we put in place to ensure that this does not happen?
Mbogi ni kubwa. Briefly tu, Mbogi ni kubwa.
I understand,
Malizia
but let me finish. Sasa IEBC wanafaa wakuja watuambie nini ilifanyika time ya by election na ni nini watafanya do mambo yabadilike. Finally, there is a proverb in my community that says, if a cat has a date with the future, then it must reduce its appetite for pregnant rats. And in this case, the cat is our current regime, and the pregnant rats is us, the young people. And for the longest time, ndo maana tulikuwa maandamano, this government has hunted us. We have been killed. We've been shot uko kwa streets. We had the president saying that tunashutiwa.
Asante.
So what I can say to this regime is that do not confuse our silence for naivety or laziness. We are coming for you. Thank you.
Umeongea sana. Nipate kiongozi pia hapo atuambie one of the reasons ziliwapeleka maandamano 2 years ago, shafika 2, ilikuwa you wanted to remove the old leaders kwa hizo positions and replace them with the new ones. Ndo maana kuna hiyo conversation ya kuna the youth leader in quotes na kuna Mbogi ingine ya kina Sifuna na kina Babu. Ni ukweli hiyo convoy ilikuwa. Do you still hold the same sentiments and do you think mta achieve your goal if tutelea na hii trend ya low voter registration turnout?
Thank you very much. My name is Abdurrahman Tula. First of all, let me take this great opportunity to wish all my Muslim brothers and sisters across the world Ramadan Mubarak. So we are fasting, we are starting our Ramadan tomorrow. So let me take this to wish them Ramadan Mubarak. To your question, it's not about the low turnout of voter registration is not about the youth, the young people are not registering. It's about the poor dissemination of IEBC. They are not people are not their people are not decimated for them to register. Then the second thing is poor how will I put it, venye nitasema ni kwamba the reason why actually we are not registering, the young people are registering, but now kuna shida 2-3 katika IEBC. Actually nasema ni IEBC kwa sababu sioni shida ikiwa imetoka kwa young people.
Ngori ni IEBC.
Ngori ni IEBC.
Aya, watch show, wacha nipate governor pia ongea hapo nyuma. Mimi namjua kama governor. Kiongozi, utuambie pia wewe. Kwanza tuanze na hapo kwa hiyo Gen Z's wanting to remove the leaders who have been there, the old leaders, akina youth leader, na ku replace them na Mbogi ingine akina Babu Wino. Do we still hold the same sentiments na unaona tukiachieve kitu?
Thank you. My name is Felix Obuya. I am the next MP for Karachuonyo. I believe in that actually. Kenya is a country that is ruled by rule of law. I believe that the only way that Kenya can prosper is by following the law to the letter. We cannot afford anarchy, we cannot afford violence, and we cannot afford lawlessness. We can refer to what happened in Egypt, what happened in Madagascar, what happened in South Sudan, what happened in Somalia. Those states have never recovered from that lawlessness. I believe the only way is to strengthen and support the IEBC. I believe in institution and institutionalism, because IEBC's role in this registering and participation in elections is twofold. One is to educate the citizens effectively, because when they're educated, they will be, when they're sensitized. Sensitization builds participation, and when there's participation, the citizens will follow up. They must build interest to the people. They must tell the people the reasons, the good reasons why they should vote. And if we can do that, if we can achieve that, then people will have the knowledge and the know-how and why it is very important to
Safi.
Before you go, why it's important to participate in the electoral
break.
processes. But Kenya cannot afford the state of lawlessness, anarchy. Yes.
Asante, tuarudi kwako. Tunafaa kwenda break, lakini amegusia pointi ya maana sana, sensitization, watu wajue, na ndio maana kwa hii show kubwa sahi, the Gen Z Manifesto on K24 na pia live on Kameme, tunawaambia muende mregister as voters, na tunauliza mbona hamja register as voters? Shida ni gani? Continue sending in your feedback, tutazisoma na pia tuendelee kuchukua maoni ya Mbogi yangu na pia pale mbele right after this short commercial break.
Ladies and gentlemen, karibu kwa vibe genje za Kenya. Hizi ni zetu.
Beba kwa zile shaglasi uchapa ndio fobi jipe na watu wamoke
Pia usisahau
kuna ile uwaga ni zufala umbwakni yenye inabamba raia. Toka TikTok ama uende jehanamu. Niende jehanamu, samaki ya matope.
Hapa ndio home za madoa ambazo zinadonjo, yani sherehe ni sheria na sherehe ni lazima.
Naambiaje?
Ndio ile place wa Kenya hutambulika ni wa Kenya.
Tunasemaje?
Karibu milele
100% Kenya.
Zetu baba.
Boda iko loud 100% Kenyan. Tunawakilisha milele.
Kiumbia giki tafariri ni akayo kamuremi turarema uriithi wa ngurwe nigetha tumenye ngurwe ni ire umithio na uhuthu wacio na urito wacio uhana atia.
No must wethe irio njega na wakire ngurwe wega. Ngurwe ti mandu mauga cie giko no itie giko. Murimi no okona giko kuria kuiga ngurwe uria yagirire. Thamu kwa jaide kario gakanete ngurwe cioge cithambio wega na guthambio ciugo macoke thaa 11 moke ringi mahate maheirio 6. I guess ngurwe rale okira ng'ombe ukithi buciria cie thika nyingi ni cia ngurwe utare cia ng'ombe no utare cia ngurwe ni nyingi ukira cia ng'ombe. Koguo ngurwe ndiri yaga thoko andu ni metekirie kuria ngurwe ona yarumo aikio roi ni Jesu no turiaga.
Nyitana na ithuĩ nigetha tuthome na tutaukwo uriithi wa ngurwe na umithio wacio.
Thutha wa nduma nene nĩ ũtheri mũnene narĩo riũa rĩa wega rĩgacangarara na kũrehe ũtheri ona mwĩhoko wa muoyo.
Na ripoti ya Ngai ĩrauga atĩ niĩ ndarĩ mũrwaru
tondũ ndĩ haha ndĩmwĩre atĩrĩrĩ I am a living testimony.
Kwĩ Ngai matu-inĩ ũkaga ihinda rĩrĩa rĩagĩrĩire.
Tabarĩra ya gĩthima kĩa muoyo rĩu nĩ ĩragũkinyĩra kũhetũkĩra Kameme TV.
Amen. Ũkĩaga kũinũkia kĩndũ reke ũndũ ũyũ ũkinye mũico.
Ũgĩtabarĩrwo nĩ Martin wa Janet HSC.
Tabarĩra ya gĩthima kĩa muoyo ĩrĩa ĩkoragwo ĩgĩũka haha ũkamenya kĩhonia na ũgathikĩrĩria na ũgateithĩka.
Nĩo mũthenya wa kana kwambĩrĩria thaa 2 cia hwaĩ-inĩ na gũcokera mũthenya wa Jumatatũ thaa 8 cia mĩaraho.
Ndũkahetũkwo nĩ tabarĩra ĩno nĩ amu haha nĩho gĩthima kĩa muoyo.
Welcome back to the Gen Z Manifesto. Na hapa tumeona kumewaka moto. People are having different conversations, different opinions, and let me just accept this, guys. It is okay to have different opinions. It is not wrong. That's why we are in a democracy. Hatuko kwa regime yenye ni okay, hata nisiseme hivyo. I want to go to a statistic that we have on our screens here that we need to and pay attention to this statistic before we go back. Studio, I don't know if you have it back or can I just jump? Okay, here it is. Great, thank you. I don't know if we can see this. This is the youth voter registration trends from 2013 to 2022. In 2013, this is the per youth voter registration percentage, so percentage of their population. In 2013, young people were 46% of the voters who are registered. In 2017, 51%. So ikapanda kidogo tu, which is a good trend. Ilipanda kidogo, inaonekana watu walisema 2017 lazima tubadilishe, lakini wakaeka the same people. 2022 ikashuka to 40%. So that means watu walisema, we don't trust that government anymore. And now we have a projection that in 2026, as of now, bada tujamaliza, we have 32.74, and that's why it's very concerning for us as young people. That's why we're having this conversation. It's quite concerning that we're having that low turnout of voter registration. But sijui kama ni mimi peke yangu, but I do believe young people will come and register. Unajua zingine sisi wa Kenya tuko na ile last minute rush and then tutaenda to register. I don't know about if that's true. Evans, I want to jump in, right? We saw in 2022 the amount of statistic of people who are registering to vote did not translate to elections. And before I jump just right to you, I want us to also look at this. Youth participation in general elections. This is an analysis of youth candidates versus elected. Sindio? Ndio kama watu wanataka kuvaya hapa waone. In president, candidates elected in 2022 and that. Now in president, kulikuwa in total of elective positions in 2017, young people actually were 3 young people. So kina Evans mko hapo, hiyo ni 2017. And electors were 314. So 314 out of 3,430 are actually in either parliament or the Senate. In 2022, a total of all elective positions in Kenya, what will turn out? Young people walisema by the way, we're not keeping quiet. And 4,350 young people actually went out to be in these elective positions, and 335 people only came out. So it's like an increase of probably 20 people who are now in elective positions. And now in 2027 next year, nimesikia watu wengi sana ni aspirants. Tutaenda kwa majibu baadaye. But a lot of people are aspirants and are saying we want to be in these elective positions. Now I'm going to jump to you. We saw that in 2022 with those statistics, they did not reflect to actually voting. So what do you think is now the game changer for 2027, and will it reflect?
So I think one of the game changers that we're going to have in 2027 is the fact that we're having so many young people joining the desk or joining the podium to come and vie as leaders in 2027. Yes. And expect a lot of leaders to actually be elected. That is the youth group, the age 35 and below that we're looking at in 2027. Me being one of them. And the reason why we are saying so is because part of the reason why young people did not register or did not come out to vote in 2022 was because they did not see new faces. And by new faces, I mean people who would actually represent their interests.
Yes.
So in that manner, if somebody would see that the only people that they go to the ballot every time they see are the old faces.
Yes.
Yes, and these people have never brought change at their different levels of leadership.
Yes.
Then there wouldn't be much change.
Absolutely.
But this time around, it's going to change because young people have got people whom they are relating to. I'll speak for myself, for example. A lot of young people are turning out to register in my constituency because they see that I represent the issues that are touching them. Issues concerning jobs, issues concerning constitutionalism, issues that concern the checks in the executive, issues that concern the over expenditure by the government, the budget issues that made us go to the streets in 2027, the inhuman treatment by the government, the killings and all these abductions. These are some of the issues that I'm relating to with the young people and are making young people to come out in 2027 2027 to register as voters. So this is going to be a game changer. Number one, because so many young people are coming on board to vie. And number two, it's because young people are finding a new crop of people who believe that the change that they want to bring are actually being represented eventually. So this is going to be a game changer.
Thank you so much, Evans. I think that's true. Now, Mbona, watu wa Kasarani who have said Evans is here and he's saying that he's bringing a new future for Kasarani. Yeah. And I want to ask you and just jump on how we left off. You say that the only way we can remove this regime is through the streets, right? So what can you say for the young people who are here, anyone who are watching, who trust the IEBC and they're saying, this is the only electoral body we can use and we do not trust going to the streets anymore? What do you have to say about that?
It is not anymore. We have not gone to the street to actually remove this regime and the entire system. Our going to the street were majorly based on we were agitating against something.
Do you think 2024 was successful?
2024 was successful in terms of it brought down the finance bill somewhat, but again, it didn't achieve what we intended it to achieve. Like last year, all of us said we were going to remove William Ruto from State House. All of a sudden, it ended up we are in a town and just loitering in town doing nothing.
Yeah.
So we have not organized to actually kick out the regime. So the kind of organizing, and I'm seeing some young people saying we cannot afford anarchy.
Yes.
Let me tell you, Charlotte.
Please do.
The amount of harm we are facing as a country by the order we are having right now is much bigger than the one we are going to face, a smaller one during that what they call anarchy. Hii mambo ya anarchy wanatuambia ndio watupoeshe. Ati mutaharibu vitu, sijui nini itafanyika. Wao wakati wanatuibia pesa, wakati wanaua vijana kwa barabara, wakati billions zinapotea, wakati watoto hawezi wakasoma, wakati health system is collapsing, is not working. Is that not much more harm than the one we are going to face, a small one?
Yeah.
Mwingine mwenzangu pale anasema, let us help IEBC. Nimekupea kazi.
Yeah.
Umekuja unataka kazi kwangu.
Yes.
Ukasema you are qualified.
Yeah.
Mimi niko na kazi ya kufagia barabara. Nikakwambia, now this is the place unafagia.
Yeah.
Now you again still want me, nikuje nikuimbia wimbo, please, utafanya hivi, utafanya hivi. What kind of support do we give them? We fund them, they came highly qualified, they passed through those panels, na wakapewa job. There is no support that we are going to give them. Let them work. We saw in 2022, and this IEBC should come out. This one is the first IEBC, and they are messing big time. The kind of language they are already using is not going to favor them. In fact, as a matter of fact, we should demand that they leave that office. Okay. Because when you listen to a commission which has just come in, after a mess, we saw a mess where one commissioners are here, the other ones are divided here, and we have not gotten an audit of that entire election. This IEBC is also sleeping. The commissioners we are having now are also sleeping. They are not even telling the people how they are going to be better. Okay. So even the young voters we are telling to register, what is there for them in that election?
Okay.
The society does not trust this IEBC. So it doesn't matter. And by the way, sorry nimekukata. By the way, wanaambia ukiangalia those statistics, you will realize that the statistics we are having now, the young people are registering more as compared to the previous years. But the seasoned politicians will tell you, vijana walitoka kwa barabara and now they are not registering, they are just lazy. Ndio wakugag, ndio waona nyinyi ni useless. But let me tell you, even the people who are already registered, wachana na vijana ambao hawajaregister, even the people who are already registered there, the 22 million plus, none of them want William Ruto.
Okay.
So it doesn't matter whether Gen Z register or they don't register.
Let me ask you, I'm going to jump back to you, because when we say about elections, it's not only the president. You're also looking from grassroots, MCA all the way to the president. So even as you're thinking of elections, you're not just looking at the presidential seat. We're also looking at MCA. Thank you so much, Alaw. And you can see so much passion. Karibu turuke hapa na wewe sahi tu. But I'm going to throw it back to Majibu with our audience. Waseme, okay, tumesikia to trust IEBC. What are other reasons that we really don't trust IEBC other than tumeona what they have done in the past? They have not given us an audit of the past 2022 election, or they are lying. How can we truly trust them? Majibu, back to you and your audience.
Unajua majinzia wataki kupangwa, lakini pia excuse ni mingi. Sasa hii kuna wanasema, unajua ukienda kuregister sasa hii kuna hiyo unaskaniwa iris. hiyo IEBC iris scan wanasema ni kama it's scaring them away. Wanasema ni kama ile ya Worldcoin. Majenzi rada. Hebu tuambie ni ukweli.
Okay, my name is Martin Mago Nyagia. I'm the incoming member of County Assembly MCA, Kemaina Ward, as well as it is in Bahati constituency, Nakuru County. And I'm also the founder and the president of Upcoming Leaders of Kenya. Allow me to say this. The reason as to why we do not trust the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, you just saw Madam Joyce coming on a national television with the same language yenye president anatumianga, that tumetenga, tunapanga. Joyce Akelo comes on a national television to say anapanga, anatenga. No, we have already entrusted them with resources. And she comes and defends herself with the Constitution. I agree with her that the Constitution gives them the authority to conduct the elections. However, the same Constitution, Article 1, says that all sovereign power belongs to the people, and we are going to take that power back again. Because in 2024, it was just a trial. Ilikuwa tunajaribu kutest. Now in 2027, if we see again malpractice, election malpractice, my goodness, we are going to come out in the streets. Wait and see, we are going to implement our own institution. And allow me to tell you, Charlotte, that there is what we normally call political apathy in our generation. Yani kutojali, hatujali. Why? There is a generation that came and trusted us the journey to Singapore. No, first of all, to protect journey to Canaan. Now they're changing to Singapore. Loss of direction from the president himself. Now, the same generation of our president comes and tells us tutawapatia majob. Mtu apati education. Education is not affordable. Mtu akona degree unamwambia nimekutafutia job kwa affordable houses. Surely. What about my degree? Safi. Number 2, kidogo tu. Briefly. Number 2,
Mbogi ni kubwa.
Yeah. Number 2, the previous CS wa Foreign Affairs alipeana jobs maju. And it was a full scam. What happened to him? Nothing happened. Therefore, it's a generation and we are awakening na tunachukua hizo maviti. 2027, we are taking those seats. Starting with me, member of County Assembly. Thank you.
Nikuje kwako kiongozi pewe briefly. Nilikuwa na conversation na yeye on the sidelines hapa, anasema hao wenyewe wanasema ndio kuchukua kura, pia wengine hatuwezi waamini. Hao ndio watakuchukua kura, alafu ile siku ya kuvote ndio wataenda kama gunzi kusikia wengine wasipige kura. Tuambie bro.
My name is Bile Manyile. I'm a registered voter. Na mimi kura yangu ni ya Nairobi. Mimi ni mpigaji kura wa Nairobi County. I feel like the way I've heard people talking and saying so much, it takes me to so many things I've seen around. Number 1, the 2 biggest scams we have in this country is IEBC and the Gen Zs. Reasons are there. Let me start with Gen Zs because hapo ndio niko. Gen Zs, one thing, we talk so much, but the actions are very few. Me in Nairobi, I have gone to maandamano and lucky am I, sikuenda peke yangu. Kuna mtu nimekutana naye hapa, tulikuwa naye mbili. Sasa najua nikiongea na kuna mtu alikuwa aliona anaweza sema. Na kwa maandamano nilienda after kutoka, wakati wa kupiga kura hii town, tulikaa kwa polling station, vijana wenzangu ambao mimi najua walikuja kutupiga around saa 6 saa 10 na kupiga kura. Then I learned something. We talk about these numbers, but the reality is, these numbers tunaongelea, some of them are not even interested in it. Number 2, about them, I feel like people think if we vote as Gen Zs that to register vote, to vote in the same ballot as one people. You need to understand this is a democratic country. Mtu anaweza piga kura pahali popote anafikiria anaweza piga. Haimaanishi tukipahali tutapiga watashinda. IEBC, if you have seen the government, chane kikuja and so many activities imekuja, the way they do their adverts, they do very good adverts. They use Gen Zs, they use millennials who are Gen Zs, na wanafanya adverts poa sana. Nini nazuia government is tafuta the same people just to do great adverts for this thing to happen.
Safi, amebonga fiti sana. Unajua president alipiga selfie kabisa. Tuko ndani ya si Talanta, Raila Odinga Stadium. Alo, mbona asifanye the same na voter registration kiongozi? Do you think, because according to him, it's like the government is trying to sabotage the process, like it doesn't put some much effort into ensuring Gen Zs are sensitized that much to register as voters? Unasemaje?
Yeah, me, I'm Ada Kemani, from the great place called Murang'a, Kiharu. Yeah, and I'm a leader in waiting. So, kuna history ya IEBC. First of all, IEBC is a scam. And before giving my view, nataka correct my brother hapa nyuma. Amesema like Gen Z pia ni scam and we talk much. We don't talk much. We say much. And there's a difference between talking and saying. We say much and we say sense. And then IEBC, we cannot trust IEBC at all costs. IEBC is a very scam. Na wacha niambie kina shosho wenye wanatazama hapa na kina mama zetu wenye wanatazama hapa wenye hawakuweza kusoma sana. Huyo official wa IEBC mwenye ameongea hapa amesema they are planning. Planning ni kutenga. Na kutenga tunajua principal ama mwalimu mkuu wa chuo cha kutenga ni nani. Kwa hivyo wamesoma. How can we trust someone mwenye ameenda shule ya mtu mwenye principal wa chuo cha kutenda? We are coming to change this thing. First liberation, maandamano. Second liberation, maandamano. We are coming with one language, maandamano, and reform. We are going to occupy parliament and occupy those seats. We are going to kutetea watu wetu, tutawatetea hadi mwisho. Na IEBC, let me tell you, try that shit that happened in Bere North, that happened in Marava 2027. And let me tell you, it's gonna be fire. It's going to burn. Na itakuwa mbaya.
Asante sana kiongozi. Kind please mind your language pia endelea conversation. Hapo nyuma kidogo tupate kiongozi hapo. Nyonga tai safi kabisa hapo. Unasemaje bro?
Thank you so much. My name is Troven Sadila Somondi from Kisumu County, Seme Sub-County. I'm leading a group of students of universities and colleges in that sub-county. That one makes me interact mostly with these young people. Kenye mimi naweza sema about this issue of registering as voters. First of all, I'm so saddened and I was so disappointed by the news I was reading today in the Daily Nation. Already we have people that are bringing out their suspicious views about this issue of IEBC. I was reading about Justin Muturi in the morning. Justin Muturi was saying that they are suspecting that the government is manipulating IEBC. And we have all in written documents, that is the Constitution and the Data Protection Act of 2019, that they should comply with the data. Justin Muturi is suspecting that the data of the people that are registering as voters are being manipulated as voters of this country, and as the young people that are yet to register as voters that are also not coming out to vote. We have one common thing that is interfering with all these young people that are out here that are not going to register as voters. There is this problem that we cannot run away from, the government cannot run away from, that the Gen Zs have brought the whole nation to one village, and everything cannot be taken away from them. We see everything happening in the nation. We see people being killed, like the person that was killed in the tear gassing that was happening in Kitengela. Meaning, a lot of these things are getting into the minds of these Kenyans and the minds of the Gen Zs. There is this one thing that I call disillusionment, deep-seated disillusionment, and the protest that is going on. We don't only protest by going to the streets. The Gen Zs are also bringing up a very new protest that we also have to come to terms with. We are protesting by not going to pick the voter's card. The Gen Zs are protesting by not coming out to vote, and that is what we saw in the by-election. So it is a form of protest. We should just come to terms and realize that this is just a form of protest, and the government should realize on how to curb the protest and bring to change each and everything that are making the Gen Zs to protest.
Asante kiongozi.
Not to take the votes.
Asante.
Yes.
Kuna jamaa sitakuwa nimemfanyia haki. Aseme hata jina na mbona wengi hawaregister as voters. Briefly tu kiongozi. Kwa kifupi tu 30 seconds nirudishia Charlotte.
Thank you very much. My name is Michael Samoja, aspiring member of parliament, Mbakasi West. And what I want to say is that when a child is neglected by the village, at some point the child will burn that village to feel its warmth. And it is time for us as young people to be able to be very intentional about the path we want to follow. And I support the big man there. We need total overhaul and just start afresh. Because as it is, it appears like the system is not determined to be able to also incorporate the views of the young people and be able to do what the young people require under the Constitution of Kenya. That is Article 10 of the Constitution. That is now about proper governance and national values. And so I am in extreme agreement with my big brother that that overhaul is important and is deserved. Thank you so much.
Asante sana na Mbona nafaa kurudisha Charlotte, lakini pia niambie watazamaji wetu na pia wanatusikiza hapa, tunachukulia sana maoni yenu kwa ukarimu, kwa venye nafaa, lakini pia we are trying so much pia kuambia that we should mind our language, si hapa peke yake lakini pia hata pale kwa comment section. Kipindi ni Gen Z Manifesto 11K24 TV and Kameme, na hapa hatuchochei, tunashinikiza. Kama leo tunashinikiza Gen Zs kujitokeza kuregister as voters. One of our core values is to inform the public. Na leo the Gen Zs. Charlotte.
Yes, thank you so much. And as Majibu has said, that we do love our country and we do not want to burn it down. Alai and Alam and Evans, I just want to, as we dive in and we've had all those conversations and we've had the statistics and we've had the reality on the ground, because I believe how appear ni ground, sisi what ni ground and how what we're asking. Let me just ask one final question to us even as we finish. As Alam has said that we need as one person has said, we need an overhaul, right? But the overhaul needs numbers. So let me ask, there are people who still support this government. There are people who have opinions that this government is doing a good job. And still, we ought to respect their opinions and their perspectives. So let me ask, Evans, and then we'll jump to Alam directly, is what about the other people who have a different opinion, right? Are they part of our democracy that we are seeking to say? What are people who want to join this making government? What about them? Will we cast them out to say sharia or to say pia they're also part, that's their opinion, that's their part of the democracy? What do you think of that?
All right, by the end of the day, Kenya is a democracy,
yes,
and we believe that the majority will always have their way, and the only way that I would urge the majority to follow is to vote in the right leaders in place. The moment you don't turn out to register as a voter, the moment you do not turn out to vote on the voting day, and the moment you leave your house not expecting to go out and vote, that is the moment that you leave out the crude government to get into power. So my parting shot is that everybody should play a role. Come out, register as a voter. On the voting day, come out and guard your vote. If our votes will be overwhelming in numbers, then that shall be the greatest and first revolution at the ballot, even before we go to the streets.
Okay, thank you so much. Alam, what do you have to say about that? Because there's some people who are like, hey, my place, only ODM is the only party that rules and I have to go with this. My place, it's only UDA. What do you think of that?
Yeah, Charlotte, that is the beauty of democracy.
Yeah.
Is that you have options, and it is just right to have options.
Yes.
But I would tell the fellow young people who wish to see this country being governed as per the rule of law, because currently it is not, that whatever choice that may look like correct to you, it's not correct, because there you are being bought, their loyalty is being bought, and and number two, the person they are supporting is not a champion of democracy. He has demonstrated how he wishes to see Kenya being governed as a dictatorship. He is admiring dictators, and if you see where their party, the UDA party, they benchmark in Uganda, where we have a perennial dictator. They are benchmarking in places like China. So they are there because their loyalty is being bought. My last thing, to the young people, those who are registering to vote and those who are choosing not to register to vote, let me tell you, with this current IEBC, we are still going to fight. At the end of the day, we have had killings. This IEBC has not demonstrated why the young people are not going to die this time. So I'm telling the young people that we are going to fight nonetheless. So let us fight before that election.
Okay, fight before.
Not fight after you have a president-elect, because William Ruto is still going to steal our votes. So let us fight before he steals our vote. So why wait until aibe kura yako ndio upigane? Let us fight before aibe kura yetu. Full stop.
Thank you, Alam, for what you have said. And again, we can see the passion that you actually have. Tunaweza rukia sisi wote na situache tushange ama to join Alam. But thank you so much, Evans, for joining us, and who is the next aspiring incoming MP for Kasarani, and Alam, who is the national coordinator of RGM. Thank you so much, even for the audience, for joining us and sharing with us the realities on the ground. And I think it's very, very important, even as I finish, and I finish with this, that tonight we have seen, you know, behind the facts and the numbers and the realities and every single thing. And what I can say is, democracy only takes place when we all take part of this particular cake. Si mtu moja, si Alam, si Evan, si any other person, but it's everyone who takes part. And again, I want to remind people that everyone has a say. Everyone has a different opinion, and it is important to respect their opinions, even if it does not reflect